I don't know.
Did you watch the game
It was
last
bad.
week?
It's all
It was
bad.
terrible.
Look at
No.
the other teams we're going to talk about.
I don't know how these guys have escaped the cellar, with the one exception that I know that you really want to put a certain team at the very bottom. Carolina is the worst team in football. They are just terrible.
Okay. Mike, we talked about the best, now we're talking about the worst. Quencher!
Yeah.
Bottom 5 teams in the NFL right now. At number 28 has to be the Las Vegas Raiders. They have lost their star on that team, the only real star there is on that offense. Sorry, your tight end, who is a rookie, would be a star in any other team, just not this one.
I mean, he's a star. He's just give it a few more weeks. With that said, I mean, Brock Bowers is either going to put up absolutely insane numbers, or he's going to put up no numbers because he's going to be quadruple covered.
I was about to say, oh my God, this poor guy. As soon as Denver picked Knicks, actually when Atlanta picked Penix, Brock Bowers was probably like, oh my God, what just happened to my career?
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
That's another segment we can get into as well. People just keep on as I kick the can down the road on segments. But go on, the Raiders are absolute garbage right now. In fact, I think 28 is favorable, but go on.
So at the 2-0 start, we said, hey, don't believe. It is way, kind of like an upset alert kind of thing.
Yeah.
Way too early to be saying that the New Orleans Saints are a top 5 team. And people at the time were saying, oh my God, look at their point differential, look how good they are.
Yeah.
Well, they're going into the number 29 slot for us. New Orleans is on a 5-game losing streak, and there does not look to be any stopping that streak in the near term. Spencer Rattler is who we thought he was. And, that's tough.
Well,
That's tough.
I don't know that there could be great expectations for him anyway. I mean, the Saints comes with a weird caveat, right?
Yeah.
The team that they trotted out against the Broncos was absolutely abysmal. I mean, you're going to look at Denver's schedule and see the wins over the Raiders and Saints and Panthers. And I'm just putting it out there. The Broncos are going to beat the Panthers on Sunday.
Well, but for the Saints, the thing is that next year they're going to be $81 million in dead cap space.
Yeah,
it doesn't get better.
The cap is awful.
Yeah.
But the Saints, to their credit, have a ton of injuries. I mean, this team is so banged up.
Yeah.
So that is the one caveat. I think they would be a better team that didn't belong here if they weren't so injured.
Well, and poor Kamara is saying, please come get me. To Sean Payton, please save me.
Well, it's a lost season. I don't know that Denver is where he goes, but he's gonna be a commodity. I think the Saints have to trade him.
We'll get into that another time. Yeah. After that, though, Carolina comes in at the number 30 spot, moving up 2 in the rankings. Carolina just in general. I mean, now we're just talking about how bad other teams are and comparing. So Carolina, I guess we'll get to the Bryce Young second chance at some point, but just because they, have shown some relative decency.
Wait,
I don't know.
Did you watch the game
last week? It was bad. It's all bad.
Terrible.
Look at the other teams we're going to talk about.
I don't know how these guys have escaped the cellar, with the one exception that I know that you really want to put a certain team at the very bottom. Carolina is the worst team in football. They are just terrible.
Okay, after that, New England is still my 31st team after Carolina, and hear me out on this. Drake May might have had a decent debut. That's what happens in debuts sometimes. Way too early to tell, and I quite frankly don't believe in Drake May. So I think just based off of what New England has looked like so far this year, they are the number 31 team, and they're terrible.
It's not
absolutely terrible.
Not a great start when your head coach calls you soft. That said, the Patriots are still better than the Panthers. But go on,
okay.
Yes. And then
finally,
do your work.
The absolute dumpster fire.
Yes.
And just like you said, cellar. Put them as low as possible. You might as well it's a quarry. It is a rock quarry. The Browns are the worst team in the league, hands down right now. They move on to their third-string quarterback in Jameis Winston. There are some excellent quotes that I'm sure will be garnered after his, debut as a Browns quarterback in the actual starting position. But outside of that, the only thing he's eating is not W's. It's going to be L's the rest of the season.
He's going to eat L's. Dirk, I'll say this. I don't think the Browns are the worst team in football, but the franchise that probably might be the most run into the ground. I mean, the Browns still have a good defense. The Panthers have nothing. But this team is completely screwed. I mean, it's like... The Panthers
at least have Jonathan Brooks that is going to make his debut in the next couple weeks, and that's That is some promise.
The Cleveland has Myles Garrett.
That's true.
They
However,
have,
I guarantee Myles Garrett feels like I don't want to show up or show out because this team is garbage.
He probably doesn't. But I would say the Browns are not the worst overall team in football, but the franchise, there's just no good way about it. The whole maneuvers, the injury issues, everything. The franchise is just an abomination right now.
You're an abomination.